The music's actually quite good in here today. So right now we are 11 weeks out and you're not a failure if there's habits that you've not quite mastered yet. My ADHD came out massively in that. I have now surpassed, in my opinion, what is the hardest stage of prep for me. No matter where you are in your journey, you're going to feel like an imposter. Right. Ready? Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube. I hope you all are well. We are in Big Bad Binous today, which is exciting. I'm going to be taking you guys through a pool session, but rather than me giving you some tips from a training perspective, we're going to break down the things that people struggle with when it comes to competing, because there is a lot of things that people don't talk about when it comes to body dysmorphia, when it comes to food focus, etc., that I'm wanting to talk to you guys about in this video. But enjoy the session. This is one of the best gyms in the world. It is very quiet right now as well. That was one of the reasons why I didn't train here when I first moved here, was because it was like a jungle. There was people everywhere, and there's a lot of kit in here, but you could barely move. There was probably about 300 people in this gym a couple of months ago, but now that it's summertime, it's quieting down, which is perfect. So we're going to go through pool, and then we're going to do some posing at the end as well. So please remember to like and subscribe. I was waiting to say, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go. In prep, you are going to get an inner voice. You are going to get a little voice inside your head that tells you that you're not good enough, that puts so much fear that it actually stops you from doing certain things or taking action. It is the voice that actually stops you from progressing. Now, every single competitor will get this little voice, every single person, especially when they're doing something that is out of their comfort zone, will get that little voice. But one thing that actually helped me massively is giving that little voice a name. So for myself and my clients, that little voice is called precision. And whenever you hear that voice, or whenever you start panicking about certain things, just say, recognize that thought and be like, okay, it's Patricia talking. This is not me, this is not Erin, it's Patricia. And when you recognize that little voice is someone that isn't you, it means that you can just get on with your day, because this too shall pass. That thought shall pass. Right. The music's actually quite good in here today. Okay. So there's 4 rooms in this gym. This is the leg area. It was just in the upper body area maybe. It's like a mix of everything. And then through in the back, which I'll show you later, is where like all the biceps and the old equipment is. And then we'll go back through to the main room, which is got a mixture of everything. One of my best pieces of advice in a contest prep is to make sure that you're spacing your meals out efficiently throughout the day and making sure that you're prioritizing carbohydrates around your peri-workout window. So pre-training, intra, and post-training, because that is literally the most important part of your day. Because yes, you're going to be hungry, and dieting is going to make you feel like shit. You're not going to feel amazing when you're in a prep. However, you banking all of your calories, or banking all of your carbs and fats towards your last couple of meals in the day, is literally going to, 1, affect your scale weight, 2, affect your training performance, and 3, most likely affect your digestion as well. And in a prep, the most important thing that you do is be consistent. And in my opinion, I do think a military approach to a prep is actually more beneficial to you and your physique as well, because you should actually want it to be difficult. You shouldn't be trying to cut corners to try and make a prep easier. I mentioned this on my Instagram the other day, but when it comes to macro tracking, yes, you're going to have flexibility. Yes, you're going to have a little bit more freedom. Yes, you're still going to get results, but the key component that you're actually missing from that is the discipline and mental toughness that comes along with actually sticking to a meal plan. Being so disciplined that you do not go off track, that just puts you in a place that you can't even get to if you are being more flexible. So try and be as disciplined as you possibly can. So right now we are 11 weeks out, and I have now surpassed, in my opinion, what is the hardest stage of prep for me. And that is that stage where you've lost some body fat, but you're not lean yet. And this is the part of people's preps that not everybody documents, because it is hard mentally, because you look flat, you're still flat, and you just look like a little marshmallow. And this is a stage that a lot of people actually panic. So this is when people implement high days. This is when people back off from an expenditure perspective. But if you just keep going and just keep swimming, that is when you're going to see the instant gratification that comes when you're at the back end of a prep. And that is seeing your body composition change on the daily. So push past that hard moments and don't let Patricia take over. I want to quickly touch on imposter syndrome, because no matter where you are in your journey, you're going to feel like an imposter. But feeling like an imposter is actually a really good place to be, and it's a place that you should actually strive to be in as well, because no matter where you are in your life, whether you're a first-time competitor or an IFBB pro, there is always going to be someone or a goal that you're working towards, and it requires you to be in uncomfortable positions, and that's the place that you need to truly excel at, and that's where you should be taking up all the space. Because when you put yourself in that position where you're doing things that scare you, or you're in a period of uncertainty, that's when you are going to get to the next level. I was talking to a client the other day because she was actually struggling to get up in the mornings, and she wasn't able to do the tasks that she needed to do because she was running late for work. Now, I read a book called Atomic Habits a couple of years ago, and in that book he mentioned about habit stacking, and habit stacking is one of the best things that you can do to actually implement the new habit that you want to gain. So for example, if you struggle waking up in the morning, move your phone to a different room and actually get an alarm clock. When you wake up in the morning, if you don't wake up at that alarm, you're going to get the consequence of being late for work. And if you're late for work, you're going to learn from that and you're not going to do it again. So the more times you implement that habit, the easier it's actually going to become. And one of the best things that you can do in the mornings is actually get up on time, because you'll feel like you've accomplished something from the first hour of the day, which is really important from a mindset perspective, and you won't be chasing your tail at the end of the day. But this habit stacking can be implemented into everything in your life. With your supplements, put your supplements beside your toothpaste is another great one. So think of something that you want to change and try and think of a way to get a new habit in place to overcome that. Another thing as well is you're not a failure if there's habits that you've not quite mastered yet, because it takes time to actually create a new habit, and you need to consistently do the same thing over a long duration of time. And I know that a lot of you guys also have got ADHD that follow me on Instagram and follow me on YouTube, and it's hard because you are constantly in a battle with yourself as well. But it's about understanding and not. It's about recognising the things that you want to improve and putting actions in place. Because if you keep saying, I can't get up in the mornings, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're not putting any action in place to actually overcome that. So the first step is recognise the problem. The second step is putting simple actions in place to help you get over that. Right, we've just got one set of biceps and then we are done with this session, and then we are going to go through some posing as well, which is going to be fabulous. But one set of biceps because we don't need these arms to grow anymore. When you are in a contest prep, you need to emotionally detach with scale weight and your visuals on a week-to-week basis, because especially as a female as well, there is going to be check-ins where you're flat, there is going to be check-ins where your scale weight goes up, and it's never going to be a linear process, and it is about actually accepting that as well. Because it is hard, and a lot of people do actually struggle and have a lot of attachment to the scale weight and actually to their visuals, including myself. Like the past couple of weeks, I have actually struggled with what my visuals have looked like, because I'm not on any assistance. My food is really low as well, and my expenditure is high. So it is about remembering that if you're not one day out, or if you're not in peak week, that is not when your physique should look its best as well. And this is why it is so important to actually communicate with your coach as well. But it's actually about recognising these feelings, and they are valid because you do care, but not letting them take over your prep, because every single person will have a psychological barrier that they are going to be trying to face in that contest prep, whether it's body dysmorphia, whether it is food focus or self-doubt or fear. Every single person is going to have something. So let me know in the comments what your fear is, because I'm intrigued. That is the workout done. Now it is time to practice posing, and this is something I religiously do after every single workout, and it is very important for you guys to do this as well, because posing conditioning, being able to practice your posing slowly as well, is very important, because when you're on stage and adrenaline is high and you're scared and you're nervous, you're going to be going on stage and you're going to be doing everything literally as quick as you possibly can. So if you practice your posing very slow, when you go up on stage, you'll actually be doing it at normal speed, because when you are nervous and adrenaline is high, you're going to automatically quick it up. You're going to automatically speed it up. So practicing your posing after every single session is really important, no matter how you feel, because there's going to be some times you don't want to practice your posing and it's going to be hard, but those sucky sessions are going to be the ones that actually push you forward, because you've got no idea how much girls are going to be in your class. You've got no idea how long you're going to actually hold the poses for, and if you've not practiced that posing conditioning, you will get marked down for that, because the last thing that you want is to be up on stage and you're shaking like a leaf and also look like you've just jumped in a swimming pool because you're sweating so much. So it's very important that you practice your transitions nice and slowly, and being able to hold the poses for as long as you possibly can. Another tip as well is make sure that you're practicing your vacuums, guys. Vacuums are really important, because you still need to breathe when you're up on stage. But if I was in my front shot and you see my stomach like that because I was breathing, and you've got to still breathe, versus being able to hold my midsection nice and tight the whole time and not seeing anything move, because that's very important when it comes to figure, because figure is about balance, it's about symmetry, and it's about looking like a little doll. We want to be imagined that we're a little doll in a box, and we want to try and be as still as we possibly can throughout the whole pose, and actually be able to look like we're having a great time up there as well, because that is something that comes with practice. Because a lot of people, when they're practicing their posing, they're so serious, they're focusing on squeezing everything as hard as they possibly can, that they're forgetting that your facial expressions and your smile and your eye contact with the judges is extremely important. My ADHD came out massively in that. This is the thing with ADHD though. It is actually a huge... ADHD is amazing when it comes to prep and when it comes to my job as well. Because I'm not trying to be over the top, I just get excited. And people with ADHD they like to express how they feel. And sometimes I just need to take myself back down, but it's just because I'm so passionate about this as well. So yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry for being over the top, actually. it's just me. But that was too much. Right.
Let's go.